Hello, world. Welcome to episode 43 of the Jimmy Canz Show. Prediction time, Rod.
Let's go. It's time to clash some champions.
Clash of Champions Gold Rush.
Run some champions into each other.
Yep. Taking place here in Orlando from the Thunderdome.
Terror Dome. I think it's going to evolve into the Terror Dome.
The Terror Dome. Every Raw SmackDown title on the line here. Although, I got to say, I didn't see any announcement for the 24/7 championship.
Yeah, that's not the type of thing you announce. It just happens. You just look up and they're in the middle of a match. Just look up.
In the middle of a match?
Yeah.
I'm sure we're probably going to get some 24/7 shenanigans. But let's talk about the matches we know.
All
right, let's kick it off with the Raw Women's Championship match. Champion Asuka defending against Zelina Vega. She's dropped Andrade and Garza, and she's gonna be getting in the ring now. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, she should have stayed a valet. I think Asuka go ahead and take care of her pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say pretty easily. I mean, Vega is actually a pretty decent worker. She was more of an in-ring competitor during her time in Impact. So she, has been lobbying for quite some time to get back in the ring.
Yes.
So I think the match is going to be better than people think.
Well, I seen she worked some this week, I think, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So Zelina.
Yeah. So like I said, I think it's going to be better than people, are anticipating, but I think Asuka wins. I don't think they've built Vega up enough yet for it to make sense for her to win.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I'm with you.
So, like I said, but I think it'll be a decent match. So.
Okay.
All right. So next up, triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Champion Jeff Hardy defending against AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. Who you got and why, Rod?
Ooh. It's tough. I'm going to go with the returning Sami Zayn.
If this was a normal triple threat, I could see, Sami, doing something weaselly, and sneaking the pin type deal. The fact that this is a ladder match, I think, plays into Jeff's wheelhouse. So I'm going to say Jeff retains.
Okay.
Simply, they made it a ladder match for a reason. So,
and it does favor Jeff.
Yeah. So that's my logic on this one. I mean, I could be way off base, but we'll see.
Okay, I like it. We'll find out Sunday.
We will find out on Sunday. Next up, Raw Tag Team Championship. Champion Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, defending against Andrade and Angel Garza. As we said, no Zelina Vega in their corner anymore. First, I hope Profits win this one and we put this feud to bed. It's been way, way, way too many months of seeing these four going round and round and round and round.
I agree. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Street Profits go ahead and finish and win a feud here and close it out with a win over their opponents this Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'd like to see them close the book on this one, and then maybe they can move on. And, now that Retribution is, officially signed and everything, you've got, somebody that another kind of team faction thing that can enter the tag team picture.
Yeah, I just hope that they don't let Retribution just take all the belts, all the mid-card belts.
Speaking of Retribution, what are your thoughts on their look now and the names?
Well, it's always less menacing once you find out who people are, right? Mm-hmm. And then they've had to, there seemed to be more of them when they were kind of anonymous or unnamed. And now that I know they still have henchmen and foot soldiers, but they've narrowed it down to 5.
Well,
Names
they
are-
basically, the way they're playing it off is that the 5 core members are, signed with the company, but there's more members of the, organization.
Exactly. So I mean, it's it doesn't make sense why you would sign them after they came on your show and destroyed everything for 2 weeks. But
I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like you put them all in, Christopher Nolan Bane masks. Almost. Like, they just, the look isn't working for me. The names are corny as all get out. I mean, Slapjack, T-Bar. I mean, it's like,
T-Bar,
come on now.
Slap nuts.
I mean, I'm hoping, like I said, I could be way off, but I'm hoping that, like, this is just kind of, code names for the time being, and then they'll eventually take those ridiculous masks off. You know what I mean? It's like right now, while they're under the masks, they kind of, are using these aliases.
And what's the one guy's name? Slapshot or something?
You got Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace.
Slapjack.
Yeah. So I mean, it's Shane Thorne, Dijakovic, and Dio Madden are the 3 guys. So it's not like these are guys that people haven't seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like I said, we don't know if the 2 women are getting different names at this point, because they didn't compete, so they didn't refer to them by name.
Yes.
So I mean, we'll see. But like I said, I'm hoping that like I said, this is the end of this particular tag feud, and like maybe Retribution can get in the mix there. So
they need something. They need some work now that they've done all this prep work.
Yeah. So next we'll discuss the SmackDown Women's Title match. Champion Bayley defending against Nikki Cross. This is a Control-C, Control-V feud. I mean, we just saw, these 2 go at it back at Extreme Rules. We had 1 month hiatus of it, and it's back again.
Yeah. I think Bayley retains.
Yeah, I think Bayley retains too. I think there's going to be some shenanigans in this one. I think we're going to see, possessed Alexa Bliss and Sasha. However, I do think that Bayley gets a decisive 3 count in this one. Now, whether or not it's a clean 3 count is probably unlikely. I think it's probably going to be something along the lines of Alexa, doing something to Nikki and Bayley capitalizing and getting the fall, and then maybe Sasha comes out and attacks Bayley after the match.
Okay. But you think that this is when it happens?
Well, I mean, they've already had the fallout. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Bayley's already turned on Sasha. She's already beaten her twice. You know what I mean? Beaten her up twice. The initial turn, and then last Friday she beat her again at the PC with the chair.
I want to give WWE some credit though. That's a good job by them to be able. That's kind of amazing if you look at where they positioned Bayley and Sasha for Bayley to be a heel. That's
right. But I mean, like, it just doesn't like. I don't think Sasha is going to come down and cause a DQ or anything like that, because then this particular feud doesn't go away then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It, Nikki still has, I actually won the match by DQ. It was not fair. Blah, 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 blah. I think they need to have Bayley
a clear win.
Yeah, get a win, even if, somebody else does something to Nikki or whatever in order to advance, things on.
Yeah, so it's not make it a clean cut with those 2.
Yeah, it's going to be a clean cover. It's going to be a clear 3 count.
Gotcha.
So that's where I'm thinking. Next, United States Championship match. Champion, CEO of the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley, taking on Apollo Crews.
I'm going with, I think, Lashley again.
Yeah, I got Lashley retaining as well. I think I don't know what they're doing with the Hurt Business right now, though. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense the way that they're having them. It's like when I'm out here, with Apollo, we're mean, nasty,
Yeah.
everything, but then yet come and cheer us when we're going after Retribution.
Yep.
So it's like, what's going on there? Pick a side of the fence.
Yeah.
So, SmackDown Tag Team Championship. You got Lucha House Party, which is Kalisto, Lince Dorado, Grand Metalik, taking on champions Cesaro and Shinsuke. What 2 out of the 3 of the Luchas get in the ring? Not sure, but I think ultimately, we've seen the tension building there in the Lucha House Party between Kalisto and Lince.
Yeah.
I think it comes to a head and costs them, and Cesaro and Nakamura end up retaining as a result of it.
Yeah, I got Cesaro and Nakamura. We don't have a lot of variance here, do we? We're not going against each other a lot, are we?
Not so far. You took Sami and I took Jeff, so we did have one difference there, but
I think I'm with you again on this one. I definitely felt Cesaro and Nakamura was not gonna turn their belts over to Lucha House Party, especially with everything that's going on with the House Party.
Agreed wholeheartedly. So next we'll discuss the Women's Tag Team Championship. Champions Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax defending against Riott Squad, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan.
Feel like Nia. I think they're finally fishing with Nia, and I think they found a nice home for her with Shayna. So I think they will change.
I think we're going to see a similar implosion that I just discussed in the previous match. But this time, it's the champions that implode. And I think it's going to end up costing them the match. And I think, again, it's to move things along a little bit. The tag team partners that don't get along storyline isn't one that usually lasts a long time. You know what I mean? They're usually kind of transitional champions. They hang on to it for a little while, and then eventually their differences get the better of them.
Got you.
We've seen it time and time again, and I think it would make more sense, to get Nia and Shayna back into the single side of things. But
now, are you setting them up for a fight?
Oh, I think
it has to be, right. That was the whole point.
Yeah, I think you'll see them square off, with each other to kind of settle that up, and then they can move one of the two of them off, to challenge Asuka eventually. And then, like I said, you put the belts on the Riots, and then again, not to sound like a broken record, but you've got a ready-made team in Retribution now, with Mercedes Martinez and Mia Yim, in that group. So I'm gonna say we're gonna get new tag champs.
All right.
So I see we're differentiating a little bit.
We won't be able to decide who. We're definitely gonna have a winner.
So next up, Universal Championship match. Tribal Chief, as he is now being referred to, champion Roman Reigns, defending against his cousin, Jey Uso.
Roman Reigns beats Jey Uso. Yeah. Easier than Ric Flair beat Ricky Morton.
Yeah, I definitely think, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to have Roman lose this one. I think the match is going to be pretty good match between the two of them. I think they've got some chemistry. But yeah, Roman's got to retain here.
Yeah, there's no sense at all.
Yeah.
They should have just made a non-title match and just try to make the whole thing about
well, then it would
a grudge.
But yeah, the whole thing with Clash is that all the titles are defended. So.
Yeah, so and then make Roman fight Uso.
Yeah, and then last but not least, ambulance match for the WWE Championship. Champion Drew McIntyre taking on Legend Killer Randy Orton.
Ooh. It's tough. I think Drew retains.
I'm going to say, I mean, right now, the only title change that you have is Sami.
Yes.
The only title change I have is the women's tag. I think you can't have all 9 titles on the line and only have one change. I'm going to say Randy wins.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to say Randy wins. That's just where my head is on it. Simply a numbers game on that one. Like I said, I don't think you can do something like this and only one belt.
Okay.
I mean, it defeats the point of having a show where every title's on the line. You know what I mean? If that's going to be your hook for the show, give us something with it, right?
So they and Randy and Drew have already fought one time, correct?
Yeah, Drew went over Randy at SummerSlam.
Yeah. That's reason for consideration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stay with Drew. If they really want to fish and make him a legitimate champion, he got to win some of these feuds with credible people.
Yeah,
And
I mean, and
sometimes
he has.
he
has. I mean, like I said, he went over Randy at SummerSlam. So
yeah, I mean, win the feud.
yeah.
Beat him twice.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you can always do the rubber match kind of thing. Like they might, the way things are kind of going now in the country and with places slowly starting to open things up. There are states that are allowing small, some crowds in it things. So maybe they're thinking, hey, we could do the rematch, at, say Survivor Series, we'll hold it in Texas, because Texas is allowing, some crowds. And then that way we can recrown Drew there. He ultimately wins the feud and we get the nice reaction that we really wanted.
Yeah. Ugh.
So those are our predictions. Please, play along with us. Give us your predictions down below. We'll be back with you guys late next week. We got a takeover to discuss. We don't know any of the matches yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully by next week we've got the card solidified. We're recording this on a Tuesday morning. Tomorrow we're supposed to figure out who the number 1 contenders are for the men's and women's titles for this takeover. So those matches should at least be set. So we'll have a little something to discuss there. So I hope wherever you are, you're doing well.
Yes.
Taking care of one another. And before I sign out completely, wanted to tell this big guy a belated happy birthday. Everybody, Rodney just had a birthday, big one.
The big one.
Wish Rodney a happy birthday down below as well.
Thank you.
Will see you when we see you.
I thank you. It was the big one. I'm coming to join you, honey.